Hi there, my name is Asenia. I am with Ignite Medical Group. I am here in Nashville, Tennessee, learning and growing with some of the best in the wellness and longevity space. We are here to educate and to get the word out to our community and the world. So I'm sitting here with my friend, Sean. Sean, go ahead and introduce yourself since I don't want to mess it up.
You won't. Well, my name is Sean Hensler. I'm a PA. I've been in PA for about over 20 years. I did about 16 years in neurosurgery, a couple years of vascular, a couple years of general with gastric bypasses, sleeves, and I was also a Navy corpsman back in my other life with the Marine Corps up in Lejeune for about 8 years.
Thank you.
Being a medic and gone, but this health and wellness journey has been a big thing for me, especially over the last 6-7 years. I saw so many patients that were getting dehydrated, getting problems, from just either their gastric bypasses or their conditions like POTS disease, and the whole, I started out this thing as just with like IV hydration, but as most Western surgeons or PAs, we have these little blinders on, so and we all look straight ahead, but when you take the blinders off and you can see out peripherally, you can see how you could help so many other people in a different way than just antibiotics and medicines. And not that there's not a place for that, but I mean, there's a way to do it. So we focused on IV hydration, and we're more of a clinically based kind of clinic where, we're registered with the medical board, but all of our cocktails, and we have 16, 17, 18 cocktails that are all based towards certain conditions. So we're not just, people come over for hangovers, of course, all the time.
Well, I've had a few hangover bags.
Yeah. but we have patients that come in with their immunocompromised. They have autoimmune disorders. They have problems that just require an increase of replacing their vitamins and their nutrients because they're malnourished. Or and we focus on those type of things. We have athletes that come in, so we have performance and recovery mixes with amino acids and such. So our job is to really focus on making you the best that you can be, because this world and everything we're into, it just depletes us. Yeah. So what we do is we just, we don't set anybody on any certain schedule because everyone is different. So we don't just put people on all these massive plans and everything. We base it on the specific patient. And that's what's lost nowadays. People do these big packages and then it's not for everyone. So we focus our IV hydration based on what you're coming in for. We want to know your pain points, why you're here. And based on that, we'll help you decide what is best for you.
And tell us a little bit, what are you doing to learn about the patient and what's the best fit for them?
That's the huge part. So the face-to-face visit is huge. Having people write down a bunch of paper, a bunch of conditions, and us reading it and then making a decision, it's like in neurosurgery with MRIs and patients. We don't treat the patient based on the MRI. We treat the patient based on them and their conditions. Same kind of thing. When someone comes in and we don't just decide, or they don't just decide they need this, we'll talk to them. We have a handful, we have 5 critical questions we ask them. And then from there, we can help guide them on what they're going to need.
What direction to go.
And if they need some additional things, we'll offer that, but it'll be based on a clinical standpoint, not just something that we can just add,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Now, we were talking earlier about why you got into the business. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about
it was interesting.
What you went through and how IV hydration helped you and got you into the business?
Yeah, how it started, I was at a neurosurgical conference, 6-7 years ago, and I had really bad altitude sickness, and it was horrible. It was horrible. So everyone was telling me, the concierge, everyone there was telling me to go get an IV. Now I'm thinking there's no way an IV is going to help what I got because I'm screwed up,
Yeah.
And after I left, I felt 95% better.
Wow.
I was wondering what kind of voodoo was in this bag, So after that, I really started digging into it a little bit, and then that's what kind of got me finally to the place where I could go ahead and start something to help the community on conditions and problems that patients face on a daily basis that keeps them out of work, that keeps them unable to do the things they want to do, to keep them feeling good, brain fog, just having them be the best they can every day.
Energy, yeah, I love it. Memory. all the things that we suffer from, right?
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, like so many people are so active. I mean, we have a ton. I mean, our working people are just they're outside all the time because it's very hot. So you know, they're losing all their B vitamins, all their energy. You know, and the B12 is one thing, but they're just getting depleted from their basic nutritional requirements that makes the engine work, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're just trying to get them to get. We're trying to upcharge the engine and kind of get it back to a steady state where they're feeling good. Because other people, you know, like POTS disease patients, we have a ton of them, and the whole purpose of that, you know, POTS disease is where the hydration doesn't stay in the vessel themselves. It just kind of permeates through, and they're always dehydrated, no matter how much you drink or whatever. Okay. So we have people just come in for fluids, you know, and we have fluid plans just because of that. So we gear the things we have based on the conditions and the people that have come in. So we're not just throwing out a bunch of things that are all out there. We've actually curated our whole menu and the way that we focus on things from a clinical standpoint, but also from what we've
You're tailoring to
encountered.
the individual for their individual needs.
Everybody should be tailored to the individual. Nothing
it.
should be standardized in this business. You know, nothing.
I love it.
Nothing.
I love it.
And I hate even to use it as a business because I don't want to be a salesman. I want to be a clinical advocate. I love teaching. I love helping patients, and that's one of the things I really love.
Your passion for the business is because of your own personal journey.
That's
I
right.
mean, you wouldn't be here helping the community and helping others if you didn't have, you know, what you went through.
And I had that.
Finding
You're right.
hydration 95% better, you said.
Yeah, exactly. And as with that one little piece, we started Recharge IV Hydration. We just passed 2 years. And we've thank you. And it started out as IV hydration, just basics, but as the the blinders came off, you could really see how you could help so many people on so many different levels. Anywhere from like patients that deal with cancer and malnutrition, and people that just need detoxification, and just like I said, it's all based on what they come in and what they're trying to solve.
Right.
And that's what we aim to do. And we have a huge. I mean, all of our registered nurses are freaking amazing. I mean, they are trained and they can really help with this.
So, Sean, last night we were chatting and you were telling me a little bit about ozone therapy.
Yes.
Now, my clinic, we don't do ozone therapy, but it's something that we've been looking into. Mm-hmm. I had a great conversation with Sean last night about it. Can you tell me a little bit about it, or tell the audience some more about it?
Yeah. Well, IV ozone, I'm sure a lot of people get very, very, very scared about it. They're thinking ozone, the atmosphere and such. But the fact is they've been working on ozone for medical treatments for over 100 years. So they just kind of have it more dialed in now. So with IV ozone, it does three massive things. It destroys bacteria and viruses in the blood. It increases oxygenation to all the tissues, the muscles, the brain. That's why it releases brain fog and all those. And it's a massive systemic anti-inflammatory for people such as like autoimmune disorders or just these systemic inflammatory problems. Okay. And even for like Lyme's disease or mold toxicity, or it'll help knock those things out.
Wow, that's huge.
It's huge. That's huge.
Lyme disease?
Lyme disease,
wow, that's crazy.
But it's not just, a lot of people, I see a lot of people doing IV ozone, but they really, there's a big knowledge base that needs to be done. The gamma, which is a strength, if you have it too high, you can cause problems, so that's why I worked with Dr. Adam and Simply O3 actually, and we built a protocol and an algorithm to help with certain acute pathological problems, chronic pathological problems, and sports and performance, to make sure that everyone, not just me, but I want to make sure everyone else out there is staying within the realm of extreme safety for their patients, so they have the best treatment available, and also they don't have any adverse
and we appreciate
reactions.
That. We appreciate you for that. That is one of the reasons why I met Sean, is because we're here, we're learning from each other in a mastermind group, and we're looking into bringing ozone therapy. And I'm not just gonna bring it in and say, here's ozone therapy because everyone's asking for it.
Right.
I want to learn from the best and have the protocols from the best in our clinic. So I appreciate you being open to sharing to not just myself and our clinic, but the world, and educating everyone out there on the importance of protocols and why we follow them.
Right. And that's one of the problems. You know, this has been the wild, wild west for a long time, and we're dialing it in. So you know, and we're actually becoming more of a functional and integrative medicine type of clinic now.
For sure.
We're having functional doctors send people to us that are on cancer, that have cancer, Lyme disease, mold toxicity, what have you. So we're actually creating combined therapies where we have IV ozone, and then we mix in high dose vitamin C, and then even alpha lipoic acid or glutathione. You know, based on, and I'm a big fan of working with the patient's doctor. I'm a big fan of communication. This isn't just my show, it's the team show.
It's a team show,
That's right.
For sure.
That's right. And
that's important.
You know, so you can't be a John Wayne in this thing. I mean, you really have to have the team. You got to have a good, solid group to be able to bounce things on and formulate the best plan for the patient.
For sure. So that brings me to one more thing before we leave this interview. Tell me a little bit about micronutrients.
Now I've been wanting to bring this on for quite a while, and I've been very selective on it. So a lot of the patients that come in, they're eating right, they're doing right, but they're just still, you know, they're still circling the drain. I mean, almost on a daily basis, you know. So we got to get to find the core reason. I'm big, you know, in neurosurgery we trying to find the pain generator. So what we try to do is I want to find out why. So we have these micronutrient tests that we're now offering, and we'll do a blood draw, we'll send it out, and then when it comes back, we get this big 21-page report of all the deficiencies, what's lacking, what's not being absorbed, you know. So, and that'll be specially curated for them. And then based on that information, we'll know exactly what they're lacking from, and then we can put together a custom IV program with our supplementation line we use under my license that is all isotonic, and the stomach acid doesn't destroy any of it, so it's just you get the most out of it. So you have this special curated plan based on what you're lacking to make you better, so you're not just coming in as a Joe Schmo with I don't feel that great, you know. If it continues to happen or it's been happening, let's find the problem, and then let's put together a combined therapeutic plan and use those modalities to make you feel better, you know. And
that's amazing. That is just amazing, because there's not many clinics out there doing this.
Right.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the clinics out there, it's the hangover bag.
Yeah.
You've taken it so much further.
Well, that's the thing is, you know, we call it treat them and street them. You know, we don't, and I'm trying not to do that. You know, I'm really trying to help them as a whole. And like one big example is a condition called MTHFR. I won't get into it, but it's basically a condition where it's actually one of the most common genetic anomalies in Americans. And what happens is your body doesn't convert over food or supplements to a methylated state so your body can use it. And if you have that, you can be taking supplements all day long, the foods that require that conversion, but because if you have this gene, it won't, and then it'll just go right through you. So people that are eating right, doing supplements, doing all these great things, and they're not feeling better at all, and you're like, what the hell, you know, I'm doing all the right things. It's because the body is not making the conversion, and it's just get eliminated. So we test for that too to make sure, but everything we have is based on the consideration that people have MTHFR to be the safest possible.
Right. Sean, that was some great information for the community and the world out there on IV hydration and the importance of it, the micronutrients. But we have something else in common, and that is weight loss.
Yes.
So at Ignite Medical Group, we do semaglutide, tirzepatide. We also have a holistic approach, New Wave weight loss. We're getting great results. The community loves it.
Absolutely.
I myself lost 50 pounds using tirzepatide.
I lost 45.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your clinic. How's it going in North Carolina? How are the patients enjoying this?
It's going really, really, really well. I think the biggest thing about it is a lot of people come in thinking, I'm going to have to be on this medicine forever, and that's just not the concept that we share. The whole point of this thing is to get to your therapeutic dose, find the dose that's working for you, have you on it until you reach your goal, and then taper off. And the tapering off is something that the rebound weight gain was a big
And there's
problem.
not many clinics who do that. We do that
Right.
as well.
So what I did is like when I first started this thing, I studied I don't know, hundreds of patients that had rebound weight gain. And what I found, I tried to find some common traits, some commonality between them all so I could just essentially do the opposite, you know? And what I found the most is people would take the medicine and then get to their goal and then just stop.
And just stop.
And what I believe happens is these GLP-1 receptors can now supersaturate the brain because they can go hog wild. And I think what has been learned will be unlearned. So I started a slow taper ever since the beginning, and we're a little over 700 patients now, when we have less than 10 people that I know of that have had rebound weight gain. And it's all from this taper, you know. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, but
Right.
it does work well.
Yeah, we do the same thing. So tell me a little bit about the taper. Do you just go down that titration schedule to that beginning dosage?
We have, I use kind of a special titration schedule based on some of the things I did in neurosurgery. So it's essentially about a 2-month taper, because you got to be very methodical about how you come off this medicine, because if you come off too fast, it won't work. Come off too slow, I still think you can't lose there, but we don't want to extend it longer to cost patients more money. We want to make it, we want to have it, and we have it pretty much dialed in now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's
So
it
we
works
got that
really
in
well.
common.
And that
Yeah.
mixed in with the micronutrient test, we can also see, you know, what's what, you know, and there's just people that just are stuck, you know, they have this weight that they can't get rid of, it's loculated, and they've done everything they can. So this is not a long game for me. I mean, it's not normal for patients to be on
be on
this
the medicine
medicine and not be
forever.
diabetic,
Yeah.
to be on a peptide medicine for a long, so the point is to get there, get to our goal, and then taper you off, and then you can then maintain with those traits that have been retained, and then you can move forward and live your life and be happier. And we've also added Lipo-C, which is a lipotropic, but it's like the uber lipotropic.
Right.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
means it's a fat metabolizing medicine.
Yeah, redo those injections as well, and
Yep.
it goes really well with the semaglutide tirzepatide injection.
Yeah, it's
Gives your
synergistic.
metabolism a boost, and patients love it. They're
Mm-hmm.
getting great results. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I appreciate
well,
that.
the biggest reason why I brought it on was to keep the dose down, because I'm trying to keep people down the lowest dose possible. But what we found is using them synergistically, even not for stage 1, but for stage 2, it really does help their journey and get them, again, off this medicine as soon as is reasonably possible. So they're healthy, and we've had patients, they're off 4 medicines after this, and so we work with a lot of family doctors, and I communicate with them as well. So, you know,
Yeah,
this isn't
I
just-
love those
yeah.
stories. People coming off of their high blood pressure medicine, their cholesterol medicine. I had a patient recently, she's been on thyroid medication for 21 years. 21 years. Now, she wasn't able to come off the medication, but her dosing was reduced. Like,
Yeah.
she came in a whole new person.
I get a ton of patients that come from our local endocrinologist, and they just it just really works synergistically with what they're. I mean, there's only so much that things can do with modern medicine, and there is a definite place for it. But you know, patients a lot of times they need a little bit more, something
little
that the
push.
body a little push,
Yeah.
and this will help get them over the hump, and then they can maintain from there.
And they're ready to go.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here with us
Yes,
today,
ma'am.
Sean.
Thank you.
This was awesome. I hope all of you watching enjoyed the interview, the information. If you're interested in IVs, micronutrients, weight loss, please reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you. I'm Athenia with Ignite Medical Group. We are in San Diego and Tucson. My information is in the description below. So, Sean, how can the audience reach you?
Okay, well, our clinic is called Recharged IV Hydration Clinic. We're in Wilmington, North Carolina. The website is www.rechargedivhc.com. And you can reach us and learn about us, and we'd love to hear from you and talk through what can help you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you all for watching and for tuning in. This is Athenia with Ignite Medical Group, and we'll have more content for you and more interviews coming up, so stay tuned.
All right, thanks.